Speaking of ifs and whens, it wasn't if Allen Robinson would be gone from the LA Rams. It was a matter of when, and they held on to him. They carried his cap number. He's got guaranteed money this year, and they were waiting for a trade partner. And look,
Yeah.
I am amazed that the Rams found a way to win a Super Bowl because they have screwed up so many contracts in recent years. I mean, some of the worst contracts we have ever seen in the salary cap free agency era from the LA Rams, starting with the Jared Goff abomination that they eventually had to attach a first-round pick to get off their books. This Matthew Stafford thing is a mess, the deal they gave him after winning the Super Bowl. And the Allen Robinson free agency signing, the guy that was taking the place of Robert Woods, the guy that was going to help the offense stay where it was, it just didn't work for whatever reason. There was a lot of hype. A lot of people excited about what Allen Robinson could do for the Rams, for fantasy football teams coast to coast, and it was a disaster. And they finally found a trade partner. And I was stunned when I saw the Steelers would trade for him because we've talked many times about how the Steelers can just throw a dart in the draft and find a great receiver. Why do you need to trade for a 30-year-old receiver with a big salary? Why do you have to give the Rams anything of value? Well, they should have just cut him. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's hilarious. For Allen Robinson, plus a 7th-round pick, the Rams get a 7th-round pick. The Rams move up 17 spots in the final round of the draft. The last round of the process, the round of the process where I don't care who you are, by the time it gets to that point in the draft, you are just saying, can they get this damn thing over with? 17 spots up in round 7 for Allen Robinson. And the Rams are going to pay, Chris. I thought this was a typo when I saw it. The Rams are paying $10.25 million of Allen Robinson's salary this year, and the Steelers are paying only $5 million.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Horrendous contract by the Rams. And maybe Stan Kroenke's got so much money he just doesn't care. But at some point, who in that organization is going to start holding people's feet to the fire? Whether it's Les Snead, Kevin Demoff, Sean McVay, who is it that's pissing away the boss's money on these deals that they just shouldn't be doing? It is astounding to me.
Yeah. Well, it's only coming home to roost like right now. It's like the I'll be nice for producer Matt Casey, the SH ... Okay, it just hit the fan.
Thank you.
All right, it just hit the fan. So the owner is probably just going like, oh, damn. Well, we did do a lot of crazy contracts the last 4 or 5 years. I maybe didn't realize it. I was kind of just being an owner and watching the games, and we were winning, and that's great. But, yeah, it's been frivolous. We knew that. And it's really coming home in a big way. And, with Allen Robinson, sure, overpaid him, whatever. I mean, they saved, $5 million? Or they $5 million of cash and then, another $5 million on the salary cap, right, Mike? It freed up, I think, ultimately. So,
right, because he had a guaranteed salary, and
Right.
they moved the salary off the books, and it freed up $5 million in cap space, but they're paying $10.25 million to free up $5 million in cap space.
Right. And and he's not even going to be playing on the football team.
Is that how they sell it? Is that how they sell it to Stan Kroenke? Stan, we saved $5 million in cap space.
Maybe that's what they do. And he's like, oh, damn, there goes my diamond-encrusted toilet seat that I wanted. And they just go, okay, you'll have to deal without it. But either way, I will say that
he doesn't want anything.
He
doesn't want
He's
anything.
already got it. So
whatever he wants, he's got.
Yes, he does. No doubt about it. But, okay, so here's the thing. One, the Steelers, right? You and I, we know they got the magic touch, the Midas touch, their eye for the receiver. There's something there they like about Allen Robinson. I think Allen Robinson was stuck in a spot last year again, and I'm not trying to say he's as good as he was maybe 3-4 years ago, but I think he was stuck in a spot where he didn't really get to show what he can do. The team never kind of got rolling to where he could, find a rhythm within the offense and a spot in the offense. And then Cooper Kupp gets hurt, and he wasn't supposed to be the main guy, and just everything got mixed around. He's going to a situation now where, the Steelers are looking at it going, wait, we are evaluating this guy, and we think he can still run routes, and he's got good size, and he can run still, and we don't want to do it in the draft, right? So let's get him now for what? Just losing 15 spots in the 7th round, and we got to pay $5 million to a guy that, I think they probably look at and go, damn, he's still got some gas in the tank here. And then he'll have a real legitimate role, I think, when you couple Deontay Johnson and our George Pickens, who both are pretty damn special. And now you got Allen Robinson who can work the middle of the field and find a role that truly just makes sense for him. I think that's where it could be really good for the Steelers. And I think this fact that the Steelers made the trade happen, Mike, both of us should just go, whoa, yeah, he definitely has something left in the tank if the Steelers see it at receiver. We know that. They're amazing at that position.
Well, but think about Allen Robinson's one-year life cycle with the Rams. He shows up.
Right.
And Matthew Stafford can't throw to him.
Exactly.
Can't throw to him in the offseason.
It was one thing after another. Right.
Training camp, everybody's tiptoeing on eggshells about Matthew Stafford's elbow. How do you ever get yourself properly ensconced in the Rams offense? And then when it's time to play the games, what does Matthew Stafford do? He relies on a security blanket, his binky. He keeps throwing to Cooper Kupp, throw to Cooper Kupp, throw to Cooper Kupp. And you know what? Defense has figured out, let's just force him to throw it to Cooper Kupp, and we'll go tackle Cooper Kupp or defend Cooper Kupp, because that's where it's going. Just let it go. They can't run. They don't have any other weapons in the offense.
They couldn't protect to throw the ball down the field. Yeah.
Right. Pitch and catch to Cooper Kupp is not going to be sustainable. So Robinson never got a chance to really develop in that offense. He never should have signed with the Rams in the first place. And my guess is if he had known that Matthew Stafford wasn't going to be able to properly help him, that's going to be an interesting question if and when he speaks to the media about his time in L.A. I wonder how truthful. Because one thing we've learned about the Rams in recent years is they do have a tenuous relationship with the truth organizationally. And I know that a lot of sports teams don't tell the truth from time to time, but the Rams would be number one in the power rankings of not truthful organizations right now, dating all the way back to the lies they told in St. Louis, for which they eventually had to pay more than $787.5 million, frankly, in settlement. So I'd love to know what Allen Robinson knew. What was he told about Stafford? Because if you're Allen Robinson and you want to go out there and have a good start to your career, I think it's a fairly important question. When do I get to work with the quarterback? When do I get to develop the rhythm, the comfort level that I need to be comfortable? Because everybody assumes it's him. It gets back to what we talk about with draft busts. When a guy busts, we assume it's him. Maybe it's the coaching staff. Maybe it's the supporting cast. Maybe there's other circumstances that conspired to keep the guy from being as good as he can be.
Right.
And watch Allen Robinson have 1,200 yards this year in Pittsburgh. Watch it happen.
No, I think there's, I don't know if it's 1,200 yards, but do I think a guy that can flirt with 1,000 yards or maybe even get there does he still have that in the tank? I do. And I think that's why this is a perfect spot for him too, because he's a guy that I think in the Rams' perfect world, they were maybe thinking, hey, Cooper Kupp, we get Odell Beckham Jr. at some point, and then we're going to have Allen Robinson, and he'll take advantage of some matchups there. And that's where I think he'll have a little bit more of a recipe for success with Pittsburgh. Pickens is going to create some mismatches. They're going to have to pick your poison. Pickens is the kind of guy that's going to start we might have to double him from time to time. Deontay Johnson could do it all, and Allen Robinson's a guy that, he can win on the outside, but you'd almost rather have a big slot receiver at this point of his career. On the outside, he's not going to beat you and go deep for an 80-yard bomb, but, he's a good route runner. He's got some size. He's going to catch back shoulder balls, do all of that, right? But I think really where he can make his money is in the middle of the field, almost like a Keenan Allen type of player at this point of his career. And I think that's where he can have some real success for this Steelers football team. And, you couple him with those two receivers, Freiermuth at tight end, Najee, they get that O-line going. And, of course, the quarterback, you start to go, ooh, Steelers got something working there if they can just get that O-line straight.
Second-year quarterback Kenny Pickett will have the opportunity to get the most out of Allen Robinson. It was a second-year quarterback by the name of Blake Bortles who connected with Robinson for 80 catches, 1,400 yards, and 14 touchdowns back in 2015.
Yeah.
So, the Rams were just desperate to unload that contract, and I think the Rams are going to look bad when the Steelers make Allen Robinson look good.
I don't disagree with that. You're right. They're going to take some heat for that. But like you said, I think there's a lot of factors that go into that the Rams, of course, you can blame them. Yeah, I mean it's all kind of coming to a tipping point for them as far as all the things they did, and like you said, a little bit of reckless spending and F them picks and all that. You're looking at a team this year where I don't know what to expect from the Rams, but it's hard to look at their roster and go, oh, I think they're going to be a player in the NFC. No, I don't see that at all.
Here's all the more reason to be curious about what Allen Robinson will say as to his 1 year with the Rams. Because, look, you could consider the situation and say, for all the reasons we discussed, we understand why last year didn't work. Well, maybe this year it'll work. Matthew Stafford's healthy. He'll be there for the offseason program. At least he's healthy for now. Maybe they can make it work. They still need help at receiver.
Yeah, they do.
They're going to pay him $10.25 million anyway. Who cares about the extra $5 million? Who cares about the 17 spots in round 7? I just wonder if the relationship became fractured, not because the Rams decided they couldn't continue with Allen Robinson. Maybe it's just Allen Robinson saying, I got to get the hell out of here. They threw my career completely off track last year with the way things went. I don't want to be here. And this is just another example of them trying to brush something under the rug, trying to avoid looking bad, just like they did with the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff trade. They picked the team where they could insert Jared Goff into the trade and not have people realize they were giving up a first-round pick to get rid of Jared Goff. I just wonder, and I hope that Allen Robinson at some point will bare his soul and vent about whatever it is he may have to vent about what happened last year. Because this wasn't, it's kind of like when Zach Wilson, we talked about it earlier in the week. Zach Wilson wasn't some reach by the Jets at number 2. It was widely accepted.
Right.
He was the second best prospect in the draft.
Right.
And it was widely accepted that Allen Robinson was one of the top free agent receivers available last year. This isn't some crazy contract. This isn't like, Christian Kirk when everybody was like, what the hell are the Jaguars thinking before the rest of the market soared past what they gave Kirk. This was something we looked at and thought, yeah, good move by the Rams. Yeah,
right.
They needed to do this. Yeah,
That's right.
Boy, hey, the rich are getting richer.
Right.
No one said, no one thought, no one suspected this was going to be a disaster. So somehow it became a disaster, and there's a story to be told there, I think, beyond what meets the eye as to why it became a disaster.
Yeah, I would think so. I think we've hit on some of it there, as far as, hey, the play on the field, the roster itself, Super Bowl hangover, right? All of it. It all started to crumble there. And then they started to, no OBJ. We showed the list of and the depth chart of the receivers the Rams have right now. It's not very impressive. I think a lot got put on Allen Robinson. He got put in a spot a little bit to where, they needed him to be the guy or, a little bit more of the guy than maybe they wanted to or what he can handle at this point of his career. And that's where I go back to this is the perfect situation for him here. He's not the guy anymore that's just going to be like, hey, command double teams and, oh, my gosh, you leave him one-on-one, you're going to get burned, and we can formulate the whole offense around him. But a really good number 2, right, that kind of guy, or like a really, really high-end specialized number 3, which is what he's going to kind of be here with the Pittsburgh Steelers, yeah, this is right in his wheelhouse. And, they could create something here that's similar to Cincinnati in a way, where you just go, hey, we got 3 guys that create mismatches across the board, and this will be their Tyler Boyd, for lack of a better way to say it.
And look, before we throw too many rose petals in the Steelers' direction, let's consider this.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted this guy. Nobody else out there wanted this guy. So if the Steelers are right, everybody else was wrong, because look at what they gave up to get him. They gave up nothing, relatively speaking, to get the guy.
Yeah.
That tells me there was no offer out there that was better. No one else out there was saying, I got to get Allen Robinson. And it may just be the taint from last year, but still, the Steelers stand alone, $5 million, and downgrade by 17 spots in the 7th round of the draft to get Allen Robinson.
I'm guessing the Steelers,
by the way,
have a big book on Allen Robinson. Being from Penn State, Western Pennsylvania, I would bet you that they know the person and have a lot of information on the guy that made them feel comfortable with, making the move.
And it goes back to kind of the sweet spot of the years when, and they still can do it, drafting receivers who turn into great players. 2014, Kevin Colbert, that secret sauce that he's so humble about, that he's led us to believe it's institutional. And Omar Khan wants us to believe it was Kevin Colbert, who really knows what the truth is. But this would suggest that they're going back to Kevin Colbert's old notebook from 2014, and what's in there is telling them, we got to go get this guy. And frankly, I look at it this way. If any of these other teams that were just turning away from the prospect of trading for Allen Robinson, if they knew the Steelers were in it, that may have changed things.
Oh,
right?
No
Knowing
doubt.
that the Steelers want the guy makes you think, what am I missing about Allen Robinson?
Right.
So,
he's one of those guys. They're one of those
move
teams.
by the Steelers.
It's like the Patriots, like with DBs or something. And, you know, there's other teams we could talk about where you just go, oh, man, the Patriots like this DB. This team's traded. They're going to make him. I mean, there's teams that have a niche there. And, this is one that certainly makes you, it would make you panic a little bit about the Steelers getting them because of their track record of that position.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.